Hey everyone, Old School Pokemon here, back again with podcast episode number 11. We'll see how far we can get before we actually come up with a name of this podcast. But joined today by my usual co-host, Catch 'em All Collectibles, Dan, and we have a special guest joining us tonight, Sebastian. Great to have you on with us. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing very well.
Yeah, amazing. Nice to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, should be a really fun episode. Hopefully you guys caught Dan's one of Dan's latest YouTube uploads where he revealed some big news. Super exciting there. But yeah, we'll hop right into this. Should be a fun discussion. And we'll start off as usual by answering the questions from last week's episode, podcast episode number 10. So I'll get us started here with my first question. Michael B asks, any thoughts on the Japanese 2007 Pal City Stadium promos? It was a participation promo released in 7 cities, but the only ones that pop up are the Magikarp and Hitmonchan or the Pika and Pichu version. Do you think this has something to do something due to footfall to the event / population in the given city, or simply due to overall scarcity and lack of awareness? Well, I would completely agree. They were released in 2007, 7 cities in Japan, only ones that pop up, like you said. No, I actually don't know anything about these cards, so I would definitely agree. There is definitely a lack of awareness on my part.
I'm in the same boat with Nick. The name rings a bell, but this question is perfect for our phone a friend. That's why we brought our specialist Sacari on. So
yeah, that's why I'm here.
Go ahead, Sebastian.
The niche promo questions. Yeah. These cards actually kind of like remind me of like the Lucky Stadium cards, but he kind of answered his own question and like, are they just like too unheard of? There's not really awareness because like you guys have like know nothing about them, so it's kind of like, yeah, if you don't know, like don't even know what they are, then you're kind of walking into like just a little too niche. But like there's like a lot of reasons. Let's just like each one was in a different event. You don't really know how many people were at each event. You don't know how many cards were sent to each event. Each one was at a different time, even though they're pretty close together. Each card features different Pokemon, which have like different levels of popularity. So like maybe the reason you're seeing the Pikachu one pop up all the time is probably because it's the most popular and like therefore is maybe like the easiest to make money off of, whereas other ones are just so niche, like no one's ever looking to buy them, so no one tries to sell them. And like maybe like let's just hypothetically say like 1,000, totally made up number, like 1,000 cards were sent to like an event, but maybe only 100 people participated, so like the organizer had like 900 extra cards and he was just kind of like dumping them or maybe like never sold them, which would be like a reason why like you see a lot of that one or none at all. Or maybe like 1,000 people showed up to events, so like 1,000 individuals all have one of the card and they're like no extras, so like to get one of these cards you have to like buy it off someone and from like their personal collection, so that might make it hard. Like there's a lot of reasons, and like you're never really going to know the answer with promos like these. So it's just like maybe the event where you're seeing a lot of that card just had more people. Like one thing I remember when I was looking at the Lucky Stadium promos, I was trying to look at like the population of the cities that each tournament was held in to try and give me a better idea like how many were released. But again, that's not foolproof at all. So it's like it's so hard. The tournaments were so long ago in a foreign country, they don't even speak English, like it's going to be impossible to like find out information. But yeah, that's my take. Super niche, and you're never really going to know the answer.
Yeah, it's an interesting consideration too, like the fact that a card can in some cases be too niche or too rare or scarce for its own good, because if people don't know about it, they don't know that it exists to collect it. So maybe if the right person made a video or talked about it, the demand could spike up. But I don't think the right person is any of us three with our small channels we've got going on at the moment.
Yeah, like I remember again, I said they remind me of like Lucky Stadium promos quite a bit. I remember thinking like, man, Lucky Stadiums, like for what they are, like they were, in my opinion, like some of the best value Pokemon cards in the whole hobby. They're just like some of the first prize cards ever released, and you could get them for like 15 to 30 bucks. Like it was dumb. And I talked about how I thought they were really cool. And then I know like SM Pratt put them as like an underrated one time. And then since then, I think there's like a little bit more respect on the Lucky Stadium name, but still some promos like that, it's just, you ask 100 collectors about them and like 98 of them will have like never even heard of the card. So that's like a big reason why
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that helps answer your question, Michael. I thought that was a good answer. But luckily you do have another one, which should be able to talk about a little bit more. Your second question was, with PSA's upcharges, do you feel this closes the gap to CGC value if grading only? Buying already graded cards, I think, is a different debate. PSA's upcharges, do you feel this closes the gap to CGC value if grading? I would say, if I'm taking the right stance on this question, I would say it definitely does, where there's like more of an incentive to grade higher end cards with CGC because you're going to be paying less. Where CGC's walkthrough tier is $150 or so. Where compared that to PSA, it's goes into the multiple thousands of dollars depending upon what kind of value the card you're grading is. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do start to see more and more higher end cards graded through CGC because of this fact. And I personally think it's only a matter of time before CGC kind of legitimizes themselves and takes a stronger position in the Pokemon graded card market. I'm a firm believer that PSA is always going to remain number one, but CGC is going to be a close competitor, and BGS is going to kind of dissolve into third place.
I almost
really
feel like
doesn't like
BGS
BGS.
is already third.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, like the upcharges are not zero, so therefore it would have more than zero effect. Exactly how much? I think it varies heavily from card to card. But I think coupled with no upcharges plus like faster turnaround, even if the final value of the card is less, it might still be more worth your while. But again, like that's really hard to like measure how much, because you'd have to give me like a very specific example. Just like in general, it's just like it might be worth it. I can't really say like guaranteed yes or no.
Yeah, it's a very card by card basis thing, in my opinion. I'm still using both. I think I'll forever be using both, kind of along the same lines as Nick. I've only ever submitted the BGS a couple times, and I don't know that I ever will again. I just feel like between CGC and PSA, I can find what I need, and it's just hard to give a universal answer to this question. It would really be card by card. There are certain cards though, like right now I'm grading a couple. I'm honestly grading a Mysterious Pearl that I think has a shot. Maybe I feel like it could be a CGC 10. I mean, it almost feels like it's a lock PSA 10 to me, unless I'm just missing something, but I could be. But my strategy for it was to pay the $125, $150, get it graded with CGC. I mean, if it hits that 10 or maybe a quad 9.5 plus, I stick with it. And if not, it's like I only lose a little bit of time and a little bit of money, because if I send it to PSA and it gets a 10, well, that's in the $10,000 plus tier, which I think would be a $600, maybe more. I think it's a $600 grading fee at that price.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet if you can get a either a pristine 10 or perfect 10. They're really tough to get. I was real surprised with I sent in a whole bunch of the Charizard Illustrator promos, and then I also sent in a whole bunch of the Korean armored Mewtwo's, and I only got 110 of each. And I was hoping for a few more, but
Yeah,
the 10s are real tough.
Yeah.
it's tough. I would never sell a CGC 10 for the same price as a PSA 10. It's just not even comparable.
Oh,
It's so much
definitely.
harder.
Yeah, I've gotten so few of them. I think I've only gotten one perfect 10 so far still. And then just a handful of 10s.
Yeah, I could potentially crack like 20 PSA 10s and maybe like none of them would get a CGC 10.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. If it's not like modern Japanese, like I would not hold your breath. It's almost certainly not going to be a 10.
Yeah. So our next question, Super Glitch asked, I have a large amount of mint common, uncommon Japanese base set I'll be sending to CGC with the intention to sell. In your opinion, are these cards still worth paying extra for subgrades? The case looks so much better with subs, but it almost doubles the grading cost of bulk submissions. My answer for this is going to be pretty quick. My own personal opinion, my own personal strategy. Anything I send bulk, I don't pay for subgrades. As you said, the subgrade fee is like a substantial portion of the grading fee, and I just don't see it being worth it. Anything above the bulk tier, though, I do subgrades on. So that's my own personal stance on it.
Yeah, I can get behind that, especially if they're common uncommons, like maybe for starters or something. But if you're sending in like a Diglett, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to know which cards, but I'm kind of leaning towards probably no subgrades. I'm depending on what the cards are. There's some that sounds like something I might not even send into CGC. But yeah, I'm with you. Kind of like I don't think it would be worth it to get subs, especially if they're not getting like 9.5s or better.
Yeah.
I'm very very divided on this topic because I do agree that the CGC labels they look really empty without the subgrades. They look a lot better with the subgrades. So that's like the biggest pro for me for the subgrades. I also think that if people are looking at two eBay listings for the same price point or the same pricing, one has the subgrades, one doesn't have the subgrades. I think more people would buy the copy with the subgrades than without the subgrades. So I do think it adds a kind of benefit to increase in sales. But on the downside, obviously you have the substantial addition of cost for the subgrades, which I'll never understand it. We've talked about this in the past.
Yeah.
I'll never understand why they charge so much for subgrades. But also another downside to having the subgrades is when you create eBay listings to sell those cards. Say you have 5 Charmanders. They're all CGC mint 9s. They could have different subgrades, and I don't think you'd really want to list all 5 within one listing, showing a picture of one card with certain subgrades. I think you'd want to have that one listing have the same card with the same overall grade and the same subgrades, so that there's no confusion on the buyer's end. But all of my CGC subs so far have included subgrades. I did send one off but right before they raised their prices, and I opted to grade more cards without subgrades versus grading less cards with subgrades. So I haven't gotten that sub back yet. So I don't know how that's going to go, but it's tough for me. I don't know the answer to that yet. It'll be interesting to see how those bulk cards do when I do get them back, to see if they sell relatively well compared to the cards that have subgrades that I've been selling recently. And I will add so I got a few returns back that have the subgrades, a bunch of Hidden Fates cards, and I've actually been pricing my copies So like say the lowest eBay listing is $20 without the subgrades. I've been listing my copy with the subgrades for $30, and I'll take a best offer of $25. So I'm able to get a little bit of a premium with the subgrades. I don't know if that's just because of the subgrades or if it's also has to do with my store versus some random eBay or some random person on eBay.
If it costs you 10 extra bucks to pay for the subgrades for the card, but then you only charge $5 extra for people who don't have subgrades,
Yeah.
maybe that could intrigue a buyer. But yeah, I used to be of the mindset like, yeah, if you think the card is not worth putting subgrades on, it's probably not even worth sending. But they've since doubled the price of subgrades, and I've kind of changed my opinion because I've seen a lot of listings, like sold listings of cards that don't have subgrades. And now I've sent like a couple hundred cards, like bulk, no subs, but their turnaround times have like, I don't know, quadrupled, and I haven't gotten any of those cards back. So
Yeah.
I really want to get these no subgrade cards back, just because I'm curious like how well they'll sell in comparison to cards that like don't have subgrades, or sorry, cards that do have subgrades, and just like how well they sell in general, because they are like some of my maybe cheaper, less expensive cards.
Mm-hmm.
Have you gotten any cards back without subgrades, Dan?
My first bulk submission I sent to them, I didn't opt for subgrades. And then I kind of kicked myself right after I sent them out because I actually told myself I'd never send to them without subgrades again. And then they went and they doubled the price of subgrades. So I sent out 2,000 cards since without subgrades. I'm really annoyed with CGC over a lot of the things they're doing. I really like the case. I really like the company as a whole, but allowing their turnaround time to get right up where near PSAs is, and then while they were advertising that it was going to be 30 business days, and I had some of those while they were advertising 30, it took 120. And then to me, one of their big distinctions is the subgrades. I think they should just find an in-between price point and charge that and include subgrades. And the only way to get a card from CGC has subgrades. I don't like the fact that they allow you to get it without, because to me, it's like a really dicey thing, because is the subgrade option and the non-subgrade option, are they two different grading services? Or are they still calculating the 4 subgrades, doing the algorithmic determination to get the final grade, and then literally just like giving you a $9 discount because they aren't using that bit of ink? Like, it's crazy to me. It makes no sense.
Yeah, and it adds like a full week to your turnaround time if you include subgrades. So it's just like, yeah.
It makes it feel like it's a different grading service altogether.
Yeah. Well,
that's scary to me.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. I haven't even gotten any no subgrade cards back, so I'll have to see for myself. It's every grading company's just taking so long. I remember I sent some cards to BGS like a year ago at like their 25-day turnaround, and I don't even think like that category even exists anymore. And it's just been like radio silence.
Yeah,
like, this grading feels like throwing your cards into a black hole, which is like, yeah, I wonder how many like new like investor flippers or whatever, people who think they can make easy money on grading, who probably are sending in cards they think are 10s or are gonna come back 7s, are like never gonna grade again because like they didn't realize grading was such a nightmare.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Luckily though, I don't know how accurate it is, but the turnaround time for CGC has gone down. I think they peaked at like 230 business days. Now it's like, I haven't checked in a while, but the last time I checked, it was like 175.
I hope my cards got in before then. I think they did. They were still. I sent in like my last sub to CGC was like right when they went from like 1 month to 4 months. 4 months, but my CGC tracker is like completely busted. It doesn't work at all. So I have like no clue. They're claiming there's some glitch where like their tracker just shows the submission marked as shipped and it never updates. And I've had stuff there for like months, for months, and it's stuck as shipped. And I have one submission that day one it arrived, it got marked as returning, and it's been stuck at returning for like 4 or 5 months. And this was like, I know my cards are not still being shipped to you, and I know that submission's not still being returned. So it's just like the tracker is completely useless for me.
I try to not look at all.
Yeah, I should too. It's just,
It's hard.
yeah, it's yep. Just heavy sigh. Like that's all I have to say about grading. It's just frustration.
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is. Well, my next question is from Karma C. Asks, can you share your thoughts on whether you think there will be opportunities for value purchases given the rise and expected continued increases in grading prices? For example, do you think the floor on non-junk slabs will rise given the increasing prices, making many cards in the sub $100 price range decent value purchases, or will the market not care and will grading costs have little impact on the floor as it was, or at least has been in the past? I would say I don't think grading prices.
Yeah.
If anything, grading the cost of grading is not going to be any of a concern on pricing for the next year or so, just because people who are getting their returns back right now haven't paid these increased prices. They're still getting cards back that they paid $7.50 for or whatever, $10 for.
And there's millions of cards that are still under $10 a card.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But then also, you say non-junk slabs. So I guess that does eliminate what I was going to mention about just because it's in a slab doesn't make it worth what the cost of grading is. But I guess you did say non-junk slabs, so that would eliminate that. But I do think the price floor on these. I'm gonna use like bulk cards as an example. Like first edition jungle jungle fossil commons and uncommons PSA 9 grade. I do think the floor price on those has risen. I don't think we're going to see those cards go back down to $10 a piece. I think the lowest they'll go now is $20-$25 a piece, and that has something to do with the cost of grading, but it's also just because of the demand and kind of the market growth that we've seen over the past year or so. I don't think it's all due to the cost of grading, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, grading's just in such a weird place. I think that in the short term, the next 5 years or less, 5 is quite a while. Next 3 years or less, grading is just so fundamentally broken. I don't think, honestly, like if I have a raw card in my hand right now, I don't think you'll be able to turn a card around and get it back in your hand graded for under $50 within like 2 or 3 years, like minimum. Because when $50 a card comes back, if it comes back too soon, the turnaround time is just going to be so massive that it's, like I said, still 3 years away. But realistically, I think it might not come back for a year and a half. So yeah, there's like this weird situation where if you want that PSA 9 first edition golem, you just got to buy it from somebody who's already got it out there once it comes back, or one that's already been graded. They do specify non-junk slabs. Without that specification, I would say there is no floor. I mean, certain cards, I think in the coming year or two, will be available for less than the grading cost. Not only today's grading cost, but I think you'll see cards going at auction for less than $10 a piece. We saw it 5 years ago, and I think we're going to see it now in the next couple of years. You already see some, and again, these are the junk slabs, but you already see some cards at PWCC not being bid on for $9.99. It's already happening to some extent. And more of that CGC, really junk stuff, low grade modern CGC. But I'm in this for the long haul. Long term, I think everything will shake out and be normal again. I think you'll be able to grade cards again for under $20 a piece. So any of this effect will only be a short term thing, and longer term, I think that floor will kind of go lower once the grading cost becomes lower.
Yeah, again, it's kind of hard to specify in like a single YouTube comment, but it's gonna vary from card to card because there are some cards that like regardless of like grading fees, they're just maybe really hard to grade, or there's just not very many mint copies left. So like that's another factor. But I think my simple answer is there's always value. It's just maybe what's offering value and like where the value is changes. But there's always value. There's always value to be had. That's my answer.
Yeah. Do you actually want to do your next one again, Nick? Because it actually has price floors in it, and then our next two will kind of flow better together.
Yeah. So Matt D asks, I wonder where the floors are for many of these WOTC Nintendo era graded hollows. I know that no one really knows the answer to this question, but as an interested collector, it's really tough to judge whether or not to pick them up now or wait until the market is more stable. This is where the FOMO can lead to poor buying decisions. I just don't know how long I'm willing to wait the more I see go on and quickly go off the market. The examples I gave are in higher grades, or the examples I gave in higher grades don't seem to be as liquid, but the unlimited 8s and below seem to be going fast, especially when you include the CGC copies. So I wrote a novel of a response to this comment. So hopefully you found that useful. But that was actually a good discussion we had in the comments section. Matt, I forget the other person's name, and then I replied to all that was said in a nice little novel if you're interested in reading that. But I basically said you're never going to 100% optimize the time to purchase a card. You're never going to buy at the lowest price point and sell at the highest price point. That just doesn't happen very often. So I would just look at the kind of look at the numbers. Look at the how many copies of this card are graded. Kind of historical price data of this card, so on and so forth. Kind of do your research. The other thing I wanted to touch on was the bottom half of the question, where you say the higher grades don't seem to be as liquid right now, which I would say is true. I think there's kind of a lot of fear in the market right now. So higher end cards are selling for less. They're selling less frequently just because people are scared. They don't know where the bottom of the market is going to be. But then when you mention the unlimited 8s and below seem to be going fast, especially when you include the CGC copies, I would definitely agree that these cards are selling fast, but I don't think it's because, or I don't think you need to be in a rush to purchase these cards because they are going fast. I think they're going fast because they're a value option. People who can't afford 9s, can't afford 10s are going after these 8s because 8s still look really good. So I think it's just you have a bigger buyer pool going after these cards, but also you're going to have a lot more of these cards enter the market. The backlog with PSA and CGC isn't full of PSA 9 and 10 WOTC first edition hollows. It's going to be these lower to mid grades, your PSA 7s, PSA 8s, 6s, 5s even. So I think you're going to have plenty of opportunity to buy these lower end cards going forward. I would personally focus on the higher end right now if I were looking to purchase a certain card. That's kind of where I would go with it.
Yeah, and just know that unlimited, I mean, they printed not literally unlimited, but they printed a lot. So especially, I mean, the unlimited 10s are a completely different story. I think there's a couple out there that are still, there's many out there, WOTC hollows, single digit. I think there might be 1 or 2 that are still 0 or 1, right?
I think there's a Neo Rev hollow that's still 0.
So 10s are a completely different animal, but 8s and lower especially. If you look at like Pokemon Price is a very great tool resource for this. It shows you a plot over time, and you can see that some of those are still picking up on the uptrend, and they there's a lot of backlog to unwind. And then even once the backlog unwinds, if those are maintaining any kind of a premium, looking at the real long term, 5, 10, 15 years down the line, if it makes sense to grade them, they're going to be graded. So just, I have no idea what these kind of cards are selling for, because I don't personally do much with like unlimited sub PSA 8. But if they're selling for like a substantial premium over raw card plus grading cost, I'd just be leery, because you can find those raw fairly plentiful. That's my take.
Yeah. For the part of the question where he says Nintendo era, I'm thinking he meant like EX era. If that's what he meant,
I would
those are
assume
cards.
so.
Sorry.
I would assume he meant like
Yeah,
EX
that's
era.
what I think
That's
that
how I took it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like WOTC and everything.
Yeah.
So I think he meant EX. For EX hollows, like the price has been like very stable. Like it's just like, you know, slow, steady growth. And if there is like a big difference in like between like the most recent sale and the last sale, it's like maybe like a 10, and the last sale was like 2 years ago, because the pop is like single digit numbers. So if for EX era hollows, it's like yesterday was the floor. I feel very comfortable with EX era hollows. I've never, like, even in like WOTC, like I've watched like PSA 10, like crystals or first editions, unlimited, whatever, like just go like 5,000 to 1,000 to 2,500, or like 7,000 to 2,000, you know, like huge fluctuations like over time. But EX era hollows, like not at all. I think I'd be comfortable if the pop could like butcher both of those, and I think the prices would still be stable. Like maybe they go down a little bit, but I would be totally fine buying EX era hollows. Like I've never been uncomfortable buying EX era hollows. I've always thought they were good value, and I've never thought I've never looked at like an EX era hollow and thought, oh, I don't know, this could just be worth half this price tomorrow. Like I've never thought that. So for EX era hollows, I think they're very stable in my opinion. And even with all the backlog, like the cards I'm seeing coming back, like I'm not seeing, you know, like a Rayquaza or Salamence or like Sceptile hollow rare come back in like 10s in like waves. Like I'm not seeing that. But for like unlimited jungle 6s and 7s, sure. Like
Yeah.
those are maybe, I think you could buy them now. You could wait a year. I don't think like there's a. I wouldn't be worried about FOMO for maybe like early WOTC or lower grades. For FOMO for like EX era, maybe honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my hot take.
Okay. So our next couple questions will tie in pretty well to the topic for the stream today, or the podcast today. So James P asked, how do you guys strategize / separate the business from your personal collection? I'm struggling with this. Anytime I make a good profit, I just want to buy something new for my personal collection, because in my head it's free money. Instead, I should be rolling that into future purchases that will sell. Do you guys use completely separate accounts? We talked about this in an earlier podcast. I have no idea which one, but
I think it might have been like the first or second one.
It was an early one, yeah. Maybe like the mistakes we made, because one of my mistakes that I made, I'm like pre-Pokemon, I sold different things. I bought and sold video games and coins, and I initially started out doing everything in my personal accounts, and it was a nightmare come tax time. That PayPal 1099 hit, and I had a year's worth of credit card logs that I had to sort out, everything. And beyond like separate bank accounts, I have separate credit cards. I have separate eBay and PayPal accounts for personal purchases and business purchases. The more you can keep them separated, the better, because it just makes it cleaner when you go to do your paperwork for taxes. As far as the first part of the question, the way that I'm structured as a business, I kind of see and treat the bulk of what I own as inventory. I mean, essentially everything aside from my childhood collection. I have short-term inventory that I'm just buying to resell, flip right away. It's up on my eBay. And then I have longer term inventory that I might be speculating on, kind of investing in long term. I think it's going to go up, but I've mentioned this different times throughout my YouTube and this podcast, but I really don't intend to like die and be buried with my collection like some people. I have a family, and when the day comes that this stuff can provide more utility to my family, selling it off, and that's when I'm gonna sell. I mean, if I could, not that I'd step away from everything and be completely done, but to me, everything is inventory. Everything has a price essentially, and I treat it that way.
Yeah.
I guess there was one last little bit that I didn't touch on. Anytime he made a profit, he wanted to buy something for his personal collection. To me, the first 6 years or so of me doing this, it was a side thing, and I didn't take any profits out ever. The profits all went into building more inventory. Again, I have some of it I'm a bit more attached to, and I try to not tell anyone about it so that they don't make me offers and try to tempt me into selling. So that's what I see more as like my personal collection, even though it still is inventory. But yeah. What's that?
Can you give some examples?
No,
I'm just kidding.
Some of my recent YouTube videos, they weren't called out, but I had some pretty decent stuff right there.
That's funny. I actually noticed those.
Yeah. So be sure to go back and check out some of my recent videos, and you might see some interesting cameos.
Yeah, you got to dig deep to find these cards.
If you want to answer that one next, you can.
Yeah, honestly, pretty similar. A lot of the stuff that's like in my personal collection, like I don't plan on ever selling. I like completed those goals like quite a while ago. So now a lot of the stuff I'm buying, it's more on like the business side of it. And also, it's hard to feel like worried about losing all the copies of a card, because now that I'm doing it for business, like I might buy 5 to like 100 copies of a single card. So it's going to be a long time before I get down to that last card. And, when that comes, then I'll like decide, do I even want to sell this? But yeah, you feel a lot more comfortable. When I first started collecting, like I would buy 2 copies of cards, or like try to, if I felt the card would go up in value, just so like I could always sell one and not feel tempted to sell like my last copy. And like what you said, like I have like a checking account just for business, and a cashback credit card for business as well. I don't buy groceries with the same card that I use with like PayPal and eBay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So separate that, and this is funny. Someone told me this. I remember when I first started collecting. This was like, or maybe not right when I first started collecting, but it was like 2015. I was in like a comic book or like card store, and I was talking to like the lady behind the desk, and I was asking her like, oh, we were talking about like Pokemon cards, and I asked her about, oh, like her personal collection. And she was like, you know what, honestly, like I spend all day long like going through like huge amounts of cards. Like she was saying like, oh, it's like good enough. Like she almost didn't even feel the need to try and collect cards, because she looks at these cards all the time. And I didn't really get that, because all I wanted to do was collect. But now it's like, now that I kind of have all my goals, and like you have hundreds of cards going in and out, it's just like, okay, now I can kind of see what she was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I would definitely agree with the separate bank accounts, and then I would add though, have separate accounts, but definitely pay yourself something. Doesn't have to be much, but either add a card that you want into your own collection from your profits, or just add money from your business account into your personal account, because you don't want to have it be all work and no fun. Yeah, that's what I would say. And then like Sebastian was saying, with the whole collecting and reselling thing. I know personally, I've spent very, very little time with my collection, my personal collection lately, and that's mainly because I'm sorting through bulk cards the entire day as my job, and by the time I get finished with that at night, I don't want anything to do with Pokemon at that point.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
it's kind of tough having a business. A side business is doable, but once you go full time, it kind of adds a different dynamic to it, where your personal collection does lose kind of, you don't focus on that as much anymore.
Yeah, it's almost like your inventory is like a subcategory of your personal collection. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it was Mason who said it in one of his videos, Cardinal Gaming. He doesn't collect Pokemon. He just has a revolving collection. I kind of like that. I can definitely get behind that, because for me, I absolutely love the whole business aspect. For the most part, I usually get a lot more excited about a really big resale purchase that comes in the mail versus something that I'm going to be adding into my collection.
Don't get high in your own supply, right?
Exactly. But yeah, hopefully that answered that question for you.
One big attractive part of like treating things as inventory, right? I mean, you don't pay sales tax when it's for inventory, but if there is a line on your taxes that if it's at least in the US, if it's a purchase for classified as personal, then you've got to pay sales tax on it. So it's cheaper when the business buys it.
Yes, it is. So the last question we have is from Celebi Collectibles. He asks, how do you take a healthy time off work when you're your own boss and work is your hobby, which preferably you'd be doing 24/7? So I look forward to you guys' answers, because I really don't have much of an answer for this one. Obviously I took a week off for the vineyard, Martha's Vineyard, middle of July, which was awesome. But outside of that, I work a lot. I'm not a morning person, so I'll usually get up around 9:30, as Dan could attest to. And then I'll do packaging in the morning, take a half hour off for lunch, 12:30 to 1 usually, and then go 1 to 5, usually take a couple hours off for dinner, and then back at it from usually around 8, maybe 10 to 1 or 2 in the morning, and just kind of repeat that Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday, usually just a couple hours, but yeah, for me it's really tough to actually take time off work. But then again, I absolutely love every minute that I spend sorting through Pokemon cards, creating eBay listings, so on and so forth. So it doesn't really feel like work for me. But yeah, I'm awful at this. So I don't know how you guys manage it.
The best way to like take more time away from Pokemon, like have kids, then you suddenly your hours worked per week will plummet because you just won't be able to. I've actually had an interesting few weeks since I quit. I've been in a situation where I feel like I'm living more of a semi-retired life than a self-employed life. Different personal things going on and different things I've had to look after. But my wife is actually a school teacher. So one of the big reasons that I wanted to become self-employed was that, I mean, she gets the summers off. She gets a week here, a week there. Seems like every other Monday is some kind of a holiday that the post office and the teachers don't work. So I do plan to be able to have a lot more family time aligning with her schedule and the kids' schedule when they're in school. But having a healthy work-life balance is very, very important, whether you're a salaried position at a standard corporation or whether you're running your own Pokemon business. And yeah, for me, I guess it's easier to have that balance just because the kids and the wife really rein in my time on it. They put a cap on it.
Yeah. Earlier this summer, I kept having friends like inviting me to like all kinds of summer activities, and I was spending like way too much time away, and I had to tell them like, okay, guys, like I can't just keep going away like 4 days out of every single week. Like it's not gonna work out for me. But yeah, set up some like wow, what's the word I'm looking for? Like automated listings, so that they're set to go live at a certain time, so that like when you're away, you still have listings going up, and just say you're still on vacation mode, try not to be gone for too long. That's kind of what I do. As for just like a just day-to-day thing, going from like a scheduled kind of 9 to 5 job to just this, which is no real schedule, or at least it's my own schedule. Like I really realized like, man, I've got to like have an actual schedule. So I now have like a bedtime. I've got like a full-on workout workout routine, because before, when I was working like a pretty physically demanding job, it was just like every now and then like how I felt, and my job was like half my exercise. So now I'm like, okay, now this is such like like what's the word I'm looking for? Just like, no, I just sit around all day. So it's like, okay, I need to actually go out and get some fresh air. So I had to like organize my day and like set times. Okay, so like I do my listings in the morning, and then like I'll take a break, and I generally package at night, and then like ship everything in the morning. But yeah, so it's just like I had to make a schedule. That was probably the biggest thing, because before that it was like there was no balance.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd find like one day I'd work like a madman the whole day, and then the next day it's just like I had nothing to do. It'd just be like lazy. So yeah, having an actual schedule, an actual routine, whatever it is, and following it, and then making sure that like if you want to go away or need to go away, that like you're properly set up, and your business isn't going to just completely suffer because you're just left your child business completely neglected for a couple days. So yeah, so that was a lesson I had to learn pretty quickly. Like I can't just because I'm self-employed doesn't mean I can't have a schedule. So I had to make one.
Yeah, that's actually one thing that I've done too. I've kind of written up what I want it to look like, and it'll change as I do it, I'm sure. I'm still in that in-between stage where I haven't settled into it yet. I've got a lot of other things.
That was me for like the first month.
Yeah.
Like I'd never done it before, so I was like, what the hell am I doing? Just wake up one day and like, I guess I'll just spend this entire day listing, and then the next day it's just like I listed everything, so I don't know what to do. So thinking of like a routine and just doing like a little bit of everything every single day, it was much better personally, and much better for the business, just all around. Yeah, good.
Have you ever been like completely caught up with everything you had in house, or have you always, like, I've always had a backlog. Like I've got
of like stuff to list, and there's always something.
Yeah.
But maybe I had like, I don't know, 100 cards I would want to list that week, and like in like 2 days I'll list them, and then like then the rest of the week I just like wouldn't list anything. So now it's just like I list every single day a little bit, and I find that's much better, at least for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember the days where I had nothing to do, and it hasn't happened in a while.
Oh yeah, I hated it. But where there would be days where just like you'd just be like sitting there like waiting for I hope I get some mail today, or I hope someone buys like a lot of stuff, because I have nothing to do. So
wait for an eBay message to come in and respond to it right away.
Yeah, it's just ready. Yeah, that wasn't healthy like in any way. So yeah, just having like a good routine, so that helps so much.
Now, setting up a schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have like set times for everything? Like my mornings are pretty consistent. I wake up, answer all my emails, do all my packaging, but then in the afternoon, I am so sporadic just because I don't like doing the same thing the entire time. So I might list a few items, take a few pictures, list a few more items, sort through cards. There's like so much stuff going on in the afternoon just because I get bored of just doing the same thing the entire afternoon. So are you guys like that, or do you have like a set schedule of things?
I have a set get these things done, but I don't have a set do this at exactly this time for this long. It's just like I want to get these things done and however long it takes. Maybe I have more things to list today, more things to ship today, or whatever it is. Or I wake up, I work out, I eat, shower, list, lunch, like maybe watch like something on Netflix, and then I'll generally maybe do some more eBay stuff, and then I'll ship, and then free time the rest of the day.
There you go.
That's a pretty like standard day, but I don't have every day I do this for exact amount of time. It's just like some days it takes a bit longer, sometimes it's less.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I have kind of planned out is just the bounds of my Monday through Friday, this time to this time. Shipping Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays is kind of what I'm thinking for now, not daily. I don't quite have enough sales to justify, I don't think.
I'm 5 minutes from a post office, so I ship every day.
I don't
5-minute walk. So
like, how many sales do you do a week normally?
over 100.
See, my sales are only like 25 to 30 a week. So occasionally I have a day where I don't sell. So it just feels like 3 times a week is enough.
I think for you, yeah.
Yeah.
I have to drive. It's only like 5 minutes, but it's a drive still. And especially in the winter, it's like I'm not going to start my car and let it warm up for 10 minutes to drive.
But like everything I have is like prepaid. So, and it's summer, so I just put some music on, nice summery walk. Like I literally enjoy it. It's just like a nice, 10-minute break out of the house. So just drop it off and we'll walk right back. It's super simple. So
Yeah.
I like to do it every day because I like the fact that it breaks my day up a bit.
Yeah.
And plus I check my mail because I have a PO box there. So that's another reason. Because then I like the day something arrives is like the day I grab it. So that's nice. But I can totally see how that wouldn't work out for other people, especially if you're like, you probably have like an higher like average sale price than me, so that's probably like a big reason why like, you have maybe less individual sales. But I really like the fact that I can just quickly get stuff like out the door.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with the when's my item gonna ship messages.
Yeah, that's frustrating. I'll get those. I remember like someone like bought something off me and I was like on vacation, and like the next day they're like pestering me and like, why didn't you ship this? I'm like, my store says a vacation mode. Like I'm on an island somewhere. Like yeah.
Oh
eBay
yeah.
battles can be fun.
Have you since you went full time, have you gotten less of those messages? Or first off, have you changed your handling time?
I think it was pre-recording. We actually were talking a little bit about our eBay listings needing updating. My like default eBay listing, it talks about like, because I used to charge sales tax to New York residents. It talks about like what New York residents have to pay for sales tax, and now that's all automated by eBay. Like I haven't updated my default listing in a couple of years. That's on my to-do list, but I'm trying to remember what the question was you asked now.
Have you gotten fewer emails about
lost? No, so I still have 5-day handling time. That's where I was going with it. I haven't updated my listings in like 2 years. I still have 5-day handling time listed, and they still all say like orders paid by this time on Wednesday will ship Thursday. Like I ship once weekly on Thursday, whereas functionally now I'm shipping Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I still get the occasion. Like I've had someone buy something Tuesday night, and I'm literally clicking print on the label Wednesday morning, and I get, hey, when's this gonna ship? And it's like, man, I've got 5-day handling time in there. Come on, guys.
Yeah. Sometimes I like right as I'm getting ready to ship something or like package all my stuff, someone will buy something, and 5 minutes later I have it marked as shipped, and I wonder if they're just like, oh, this guy is not going to ship this for like a week, and he just marks it as shipped, and like I'm waiting for the day for someone to message me like, you didn't actually ship this. I'm like, actually I did. I literally shipped in like 15 minutes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of the bigger eBay stores have some type of system where once you purchase it, it prints out a
Yeah.
label. Because
You
there's some stores that you purchase something and then like 10 seconds later you have a tracking number. But
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
it's like the next day or the day
There's-
after before it actually
I-
updates.
not like the basic store package for eBay, but I know at like the second or third or like the first and second like highest tier, I think there's like eBay like lets you automate a lot of things that that other sellers can't do. Like I know at least like it'll automatically leave feedback. Like you don't have to do that.
I have that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the second store package. I'm still in the basic store because eBay is still giving me like 100,000 free listings every month, and I'm just waiting for that to go away. And then once that's gone, I think I'm gonna upgrade my store because right now there's no point in like paying the extra monthly fee for more free listings when I'm already getting 100,000 free listings a month. They started doing that like during the pandemic, and like they haven't taken it away. So cool.
Hopefully it doesn't. That'd be nice.
I'm happy with it.
Because I was actually really close to I have a premium store right now, and I was really close to upgrading to an anchor store. Just because of those, I was like reaching that point where it became worthwhile with the with the insertion fees. But then the pandemic happened, and they increased the amount of free listings, so that's been nice.
Yeah.
And then with managed payments, now you get 10,000 free listings with the store subscription, so that'll be nice. Won't have to worry for a little while.
Yeah. Do you remember, or Sebastian, with the lowest store level, and I guess being in Canada, do you get the quarterly coupon to use on the
like
eBay?
the shipping supplies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. It's like $35 Canadian or something.
Oh, okay.
35. No, I think it's 35 US, whatever it is. Yeah, it's all right. Like the stuff they offer is never. I think it's like not great for Pokemon cards. I think like it's like unpadded envelope, so that's like, okay, well that's kind of useless for me.
Yeah.
And then the boxes are not the sizes I would want to ship any of the things I would want, but so it's like cool. I get free shipping supplies, but I don't. It's not like the best.
Yeah, there's a couple of the box sizes that work reasonably well for what I do.
Yeah.
But there was like the first year or two, I didn't even know that was a thing. So I wasn't. I mean, you might as well use it and like give the boxes to someone or do something with them, or the tissue paper. I mean, packing tape, I think.
The basic store is like really good value because you get the final value fee discount, you get a bunch of free listings, and then you get that. I think like to start going above the basic store, like you really need like 1,000+ listings to make it worthwhile. But it doesn't take much to make the basic store worth it. I think it's something like if you sell over 3,000 a month, the basic store is automatically worthwhile because then you break even on the final value fee reduction.
Yeah.
Regardless of how many listings you need. And then there's also, I want to say like 350 free listings for 500 at the basic store. I don't even remember anymore.
I don't remember either.
Yeah,
I forget.
I remember I was doing the math on like how many listings you would need before it would be worth it for the basic store and how much you need to sell. But I was just like, man, like I'm way above that. So I just subscribed. So
yeah.
And now I don't need to, or I don't feel like I need to upgrade it because again, they're still giving me like 100,000 free listings a month. Like I'm not even coming close to that. Like I was at like 500 and I was pretty happy being at 500 listings. And then I was like, no, I'm not. I want to like start to grow. So I'm trying, my new goal is 1,000 listings and I'm at like about 700 as of today.
There you go.
So
you'll get there. You'll get there.
Yeah, I will. It takes a while. I'll make like 10 listings in a day and then I'll like sell 10 items and it's just like, okay, well, like 0 progress today. Yeah.
I think the same way because I really like keeping track of my active listings and then like the total quantity and value that I have listed. And so I'm like struggling to get over 3,000 listings. I'll get over it and then I'll sell a bunch of stuff and I'll go back under. Then I'll get back over it and I'll go back under. And it's so aggravating.
What's your?
I wish people would just stop buying from me.
What's your sell-through rate with 3,000 listings? I thought mine's like about 30% a month.
I just list stuff and leave it on there. Like I have some stuff that's I actually ended
like
all
eBay
my
calculates your sell-through rate. Like there's like you can go to your performance.
I didn't even know that.
I didn't even know that either.
Yeah, I realized like my weakest point was like as a seller, because I'm not a salesman at all. So I was just like, oh, I know a lot about Pokemon cards, therefore like I can do this as a job, but you kind of have to be good at selling too if you want to sell anything as a living. So I've spent like the last like month like really trying to like get a lot better at it, and it's definitely working. I'm definitely seeing like I'm even though like the market's kind of going down, I'm selling better than I was at its peak like a year ago.
Nice.
So that's good. If I can, be winning like an uphill battle. So plus, like, I still none of my graded like no, not none, like maybe I've gotten like not even 10% of my graded cards back.
Awesome.
That's also like makes it difficult, but hopefully it gets a lot easier when those get back.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully that'll help. Yeah, I would imagine. I'll have to check that out. But I would imagine it's going to be really low. So I have some cards that are just. What was that?
Yeah.
I was just trying to find mine. I don't know where it is.
I would have to. It's like. It's like I looked at it and was like, oh, cool, and then I didn't pay much attention to it after that. So, like once you know your number, it's not like it's gonna change drastically. It's like
yeah, exactly.
I'd have to find it again. But yeah, so like those statistics are pretty good to see. eBay like their performance and like breakdown tabs are like really in depth.
Yeah, I like the
information I can even use at this point, but it's good to know.
Oh yeah, I like the sales metric page. They give you a total unique items sold throughout whatever time period. I like looking at that in my monthly videos because the first time I looked at that, it was like 2,500 cards sold. And I was like, really? I sold that many individual cards this month? It's crazy. I would never have expected to sell that many cards.
Yeah.
My whenever I look at like right now, my last 31 days, I'm 184% higher than my prior 31 days. But then there'll be months where I'm like 80% down. Like my sales are just so up and down because I sell like mid to high end mostly. Like I don't really do the cheap singles at all. I really only sell graded cards or like ETBs, booster boxes. Yeah. And then I do a decent amount like off eBay, either PayPal or I've done cryptocurrency here and there too. So I guess I'm just selling lower volume, higher average transaction level, and it can fluctuate a lot more.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean. I was finding like my sales would like fluctuate a lot, but I also found like being consistent with eBay like actually helped make my sales more consistent. Like I would list fairly often, maybe like 2 to 3 times a week, maybe. Now it's just like a little bit every day, and I find that's pretty good.
Mm.
Yeah, I think consistently listing really helps boost you with whatever type of algorithm eBay uses.
Yeah.
Because I noticed when I put my eBay store in vacation mode for a week, and then when I came back, sales were really slow because I wasn't listing. I had just taken my eBay store off vacation mode, so the first couple days were like, I think I had like a $50 day, $100 day, which for me is really low. But once I started listing again, sales really picked up.
Yeah. Same story. Like vacation mode, while you're away, like sales are like none, and then when you get back, it like slowly creeps up again, which is kind of why I feel like you really need to set up some like pre-made listings that like go live while you're away. I find that helps.
Hmm.
Well, I've actually only done that once so far. I didn't think of doing it before, but the one time I did it, I'm gonna be away this Friday and Saturday, so I'm gonna get some listings to automatically go up those days too. So hopefully that works as well.
Yeah, there you go. That'll be good.
Yeah, I think I've sold like 16 items today. I'm definitely my volume is definitely slowly going up, but that'll happen if I get to like 1,000 listings. That's double than what it was before. So of course my volume will be higher. Like,
Yeah,
it's a lot of
exactly.
work. It's like loads of work. Like kind of what we were talking about before, where we were saying like the cheaper stuff. If you have a full, or at least my opinion, if you have a full-time job, the cheaper stuff, like don't touch it, because then what's the point of your full-time job? Yeah, because you're gonna be working 2 full-time jobs if you're selling cheaper stuff. But yeah, it's more work, but it's more money. So there you go.
Exactly. I forget the numbers I had, but I actually did a video talking about my like lower end sales every month.
Is that the one where you were like doing like 99-cent free shipping? I think you were watching that and like seeing if it was worth it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I think I
do not do 99-cent free shipping. That's ballsy. I have like some 99-cent listings, but they're all stuff like maybe they're from like a set of cards, and it's like the main cards that are making the money, and like the 99-cent cards are just like, well, you know what, it's a little bit extra money, so I'll make listings for them. That's kind of like my thought for them. I'm not going out there being like, oh, I can buy this card for 27 cents, I can list it for 99 cents, pay the fee, and then the fee per list or fee per sale fee, and then make like 7 cents per card and hope I don't have to deal with a return or something like that. I'm not looking for those. It's just like if those cards, like I just acquire them on the side, then I'm like, okay, no. Because I was telling you guys before, like if someone's buying, no one. It's very rare someone will buy like a card under $2 just like by itself. At that point, they generally like they'll buy multiple, or maybe they'll buy one expensive card and then they'll be like, oh, he also has a couple of like cheap stuff, and they bundle it. And
exactly.
Yeah, and you're already shipping to the same person, so it's just like you make that one sale a little bit more expensive, or get a little bit more profit out of it, like just combine shipping with some cheap stuff. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you sell on any other platforms, or are you 100% eBay?
I've sent some stuff to PWCC. I've sold some stuff on Instagram. Way back when, I've sold stuff on Craigslist, but I don't do that anymore. I've had people like, I had one guy fairly recently buy some stuff off me like in person. So
that's cool.
But I've thought about some other stuff, but right now I think I'm just gonna try and master being good at selling on eBay, and anyone who messaged me from like YouTube or Instagram or some other forum or something who wants to buy something from me, I can do an off eBay deal. But aside from that, I think I'm gonna master the one platform first, and then I'll expand.
Yeah, that's a smart idea there for to start out.
Yeah, definitely.
So how is full time been going for you, Dan?
It's been more like semi-retired than self-employed. The wife
That's how I felt at first too.
Yeah, the wife goes back to work in a few weeks when school starts up, so then I'll be able to get more into putting in like full weeks of actually being self-employed and working 8 hours a day. And one thing I wanted to ask you, while I have two guys here who are veterans in the self-employed lifestyle, because I'm like 3 weeks into it, you guys are several months into it now. So any advice that you could, if you could go back in time and talk to yourself that first week or two after you quit your job, is there anything that came as a surprise to you? Anything specific you'd just say, hey, look out for this, or anything you've learned, and basically any advice for me being only a couple weeks into it?
I've got two. Two things I learned really quickly, which like I didn't think about at first, was not having a schedule. You don't even need the like most tight knit schedule, like I was saying. Just have some type of routine where you have a semblance of I do this every day, or on this day I always do this. Like, don't just go to bed at 3 a.m. and wake up whenever you feel like it. Like,
Yeah, my family situation wouldn't allow for that.
Yeah.
So my
there
work
you
schedule
go.
is just going to be the school day while she's gone. So that's all laid out for me, which
Yeah.
is nice.
You have to keep yourself accountable. You know, if you are working for someone else, they'll like fire you if you're not doing a good job. If you work for yourself, you're probably not going to fire yourself. So you just have to be motivated to like do the work yourself, because your work ethic and like what you put into it is directly related to your salary, which I think is true for like a 9 to 5 job, but like much less so. If you put in double the work at a 9 to 5, you might get like a 10% raise, like maybe. But if you put in double the work when you're working for yourself, you very well could get like a double your income. So yeah, definitely get a schedule, keep yourself accountable, and you be good at selling. That's the one I've been working on recently, where I was just like, yeah, I guess I just wait for someone to buy something from me. Now I'm like, I've got to get on this marketing thing. I'm not good at. Like, I actually have to learn how to like be good at selling. So, but I've actually been enjoying it. You know, surprising. Like I didn't like learning how to like edit videos for my YouTube channel. Hated it. Do not enjoy editing videos. It's not fun at all. Like, if you're filming the video and I'm talking to the camera, that's fun. Or we're talking to you guys. I'm having loads of fun right now. But going back and having to edit and make the video and upload it, hated that. But like learning how to like make my listings better and how to sell better and just offer better services to my customers, and trying to figure out, I don't know, how to make it better for me as a seller and the people buying from me, because the better their experience is, the more likely they're going to want to return or tell other people or whatever. I've actually really been enjoying that. It's actually been fun.
That's one of the things I definitely do need to get better at, as far as like customer service, responding to people appropriately.
Yeah.
One kind of thing I've always done is like, I like all the cards I have. I mentioned they're kind of inventory, but I don't try to sell anything. It's there, and if people click buy, then I let them buy it. I ship it. But if people try to like message me too much, I just get short with them. And I've been a little bit better, I think, since going full time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to get a bit better on customer relations, I guess.
I am extremely acquainted with my block list. This is something I tell everyone this. Like, your block list is your best protection as a seller. It's not eBay protection. Their protection sucks. You got to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Any nonsense from anyone, I copy paste their name into my block list, no question.
I'm worried I'm gonna hit their cap, but I think their cap is like
I want to say it's
5,000.
5,000. I think it's so like we both know that. I think it's 5,000. I'm not sure what I'm at right now, but
I'm probably closer than
yeah,
I would like to know.
Really?
I don't know.
Really?
Probably not really, but hundreds and hundreds for sure. I mean, I've been doing this for a decade now, selling different things.
Yeah,
That's true.
like
Mine's like 3. You know how you got like multiple names per line? I think I have like 3 or 4 lines.
Oh wow.
yeah, I've got to scroll through mine. Yeah, I went in like the E4 like blacklist, copy pasted every single name into that, and anyone who because I remember when I first started selling on eBay, like I was like, okay, what do I do? Like years ago. So like the only forum like I knew about was like Reddit. So I was like on r/eBay and like looking at like top posts, and one thing I saw a lot of people say was, if someone's a problem before they buy something, they're going to be a problem after they buy something. And I think that's great advice. If someone's just like giving me bad vibes, like every time I've like I've had auctions end and something, and maybe the seller doesn't pay right away, and like right before like eBay just like closes it because they're not paying and it's been like 3 days, they pay, then I get like a return from that seller. So it's just like but now it's just like if someone sends you weird messages or they send you an offer and there's something off about it, no, it's not worth your time. I can comfortably not make sales all day long. I don't care because not making a sale isn't going to bankrupt me, but like doing returns and getting negative feedbacks from terrible people is. One thing, this is like really good, like eBay hack. If you get an offer from someone or a message from someone, the thing I do for every single person, I click their eBay name, I go to their feedback left for others, and if I see a wall of red, I immediately block that person.
Yeah,
because
I don't do that enough.
Yeah.
I should look into that more, but
I
but
will not accept an offer from someone before I look at their account.
yeah,
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, because you'll look at someone's account and like you look at their feedback left for others, and they've left like 10 feedback and 1 neutral, 9 negatives, and like 1 positive. It's like, why would I sell to you? You're just gonna like give me a negative and ask for a return. And then sometimes you look at the feedback they've received from sellers, and you'll see something like sellers can only leave positive feedback, but they'll see something like, "Do not sell to this person. They're a scammer." It's like, no, you're blocked. Sorry.
that would actually be amazing if, like, since every buyer has 100% positive feedback, if eBay would show the metric of like they leave 99% positive, or because anybody that leaves less than like 95% positive feedback,
I know
there's something going on with them, because
I've made thousands of purchases and I've probably left negative feedback like 3 times.
yeah.
So when I see someone leave like have like 90% negatives that it's like left for others, like you're the problem. The overwhelming majority of sellers are fine.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'll hear people say like, oh, I don't want to sell this person. They've got like 98% positive feedback. Well, like that's their feedback as a seller. That doesn't really tell you if they're a good buyer, and maybe like a shitty person bought from them and just like left them a negative. That doesn't mean they're gonna like scam you or something. So
yeah.
Exactly.
That's one of my best tips. I find I don't think I've like ever told someone that and had them say like, oh yeah, I do that. Yeah, I think
that was definitely a new one for me.
I've never gotten a negative is because I block, or like I look at accounts before I accept offers, or I look at their accounts after they send me messages.
Yeah, if somebody's been really troublesome or sending a lot of messages, like I have looked before, but I don't make it a point to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Doing it more often would probably save me. I mean, it would probably be worth the time investment. Like the amount of, yeah, it would have a good return as far as like headaches saved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. It's just like I enjoy eBay. I do not enjoy returns or unruly. It's easily the worst part. eBay customer support is not good. Having to call eBay customer support and talk to them about something is like a horrible experience. That will like ruin your motivation. I would rather just not make sales all day long than make one sale and have to go poorly. It's really not fun at all.
That's why I've loved that Troll and Toad Evo so much, just because
I've thought about doing that, but again, like I don't even know what I would send to them. Most of the stuff I would think I would send would be like a lot more bulky stuff, but I don't just have like huge amounts of bulk because I don't even buy it to begin with. So maybe in the future, everything I'm doing, I'm slowly getting like a lot more of.
Yeah. I had several years of accumulation that like gave me a good starter, like a base for them.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I use them for that and I see how successful it's been, now I do look to buy collections with them in mind. And I've already made a couple decent buys that I wouldn't have even touched if I didn't have them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's just like it's a different when you're not doing the work, when you're not doing the fulfillment, if you can buy a collection, completely just ship it out the door, wash your hands of it, like your time commitment ends.
Yeah.
And then you can make, you don't need a huge margin when you're not doing any of the work.
Yeah, I agree. It's just I'm not sure if I'm at that stage yet. But every time I'm like, oh, I don't see myself doing that or this, I end up blowing way past that, like within a year or so.
Oh, you'll get there. You'll get there.
Yeah.
I told my wife 6 months, maybe less than a year ago for sure, I'll never have a YouTube.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Every single thing I've done, like a year before that, I told I never would have thought I would have done that.
I'll never spend 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 on a Pokemon card collection.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
Then you set a new personal best.
New personal record.
Yeah.
My biggest thing with Evo is well, first of all, you better thank me for Evo, because without me you would not know about Evo.
Yeah.
But my biggest thing with Evo is I am just so controlling of my business. I like to be a part of everything. So the only things I send off to Evo are modern bulk cards that I already have. I usually do 25 of each, so anything past 25 I'll send to Evo. But outside of that, I don't send much to Evo, and that's mainly because of me wanting to control every single aspect. So one of these days I'm hoping to expand Evo. That's definitely one of my goals.
Like, is all this bulk from like you just breaking a lot of boxes?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I usually open 15 boxes of each set that comes out, and just sell
that's
everything.
not something I do. I really like to pick what cards I buy.
Mhm.
Every time I break a box, I'm just like, I could have just bought these cards individually for like 1/10 the price of the box. So yeah. So I'm not doing very much box breaking, especially like booster boxes. There are some like theme boxes, I guess, where I think the value of like the promos are really good. I'll break some of those, like the like Battle Academy boxes. I bought a bunch of those. So just like the Raichu, Mewtwo, and Charizard GX were like the cost of the whole box. So send the Charizards off to get graded and sell the raw cards. Just pretty simple.
Are you're set up through distribution?
No, and I'm not sure. I say I'm not. I don't want to, but in a year from now, again, because I don't really want to break loads of boxes. There's very few products I see where I'm like, yeah, I would definitely pay distribution prices to buy, dozens of these. It's so rare that I see a product like that.
And the problem would be that, like, if you weren't consistently buying a lot of everything, then those like guaranteed.
Would they even want to do business with me if it's like once a year? I'm like, oh, can I get like 2 dozen of these? They'd be like, we haven't heard from you, and so no, bye. Like,
and the things that you would want a lot of, everyone would want a lot of.
Probably,
So
yeah,
exactly.
Probably wouldn't even want to work with me. So
yeah, they'd be like, we've already sold all of these to our people who buy the junk too.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. So I really like buying things I enjoy. So there'll be some whatever promos, and I'll just be like, cool, give me 30. Don't care. Like I'm fine with that. But it's just like, give me 30 of these booster boxes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Especially like playing the breaking game, where I feel like that's so luck, especially with like English modern booster boxes where there's like 300 cards and a bunch of rainbow hyper rares. Like, who knows? You could get amazing pulls or terrible pulls. Like, and I'm not a gambler, so I'd rather just like, oh, I would like these 3 cards from the set, so I'm just gonna buy those 3 cards. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah. Like recently, like Vivid Voltage has come down a ton. I didn't buy boxes. I bought amazing rares because I think they're like good value right now. So that's why I did.
Yeah, I bought a bunch of those recently too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking at the prices and I was like, they've like never been this cheap. Just like, add the cart. Oh, thank you.
Well, I was saying, I think I was telling you this, Dan, but I watched SM Pratt, his Patreon video for August.
Yeah.
Talking about specifically the Kyogre Amazing Rare from Shining Fates. And after watching that video, I went ahead and bought like 50 copies from Troll and Toad. It was basically any copy that was under $5 from Troll and Toad at the time.
That's so funny because I looked at that card on Troll and Toad and they were like completely sold out. So I saw that and I was like, I bet this is like Scott suing. Or not him, but man, it's crazy. Every underrated Scott does is like I swear he reads my mind.
I actually bought quite a few of the Amazing Rares shortly before I saw that video.
Yeah, I was buying a ton of the Japanese Kyogre's Amazing Rares maybe like 6 months ago. So I was like, these are like less than $5 Canadian. I thought they were great. I thought they looked really cool. Plus they were like brand new, so they're super easy to get like gem mint copies of. So I bought a bunch of those. I sent a bunch to CGC. I think I sent some to PSA, and I think I have more. And I even started buying more again. But yeah, I didn't touch the English ones because I remember hearing the print quality of like Shining Fates wasn't very good, and I think some of the cards had like the ink with like flake on them. I don't know.
A lot of the Shining or the baby shinies. They reminded me a lot of like the Jungle Hollows, where the edges are all torn up.
Yeah. Plus, I couldn't get I'm scared of buying stuff like that off Troll and Toad. If it's a card I think I want to grade, because they have like automated sorting machines, and I could look at a card and tell you if like it's from Troll and Toad because it has like distinct like sorting machine damage on it. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but like I find like the top back has like scuffs that look like it was just like run across like a rubber mat or something.
Yeah, I honestly haven't even bought from enough to really have a great feel for what the cards come back as.
Yeah, I find it's really hit or miss. Like I bought near mint stuff off Troll and Toad and it's had creases in it. So yeah. It depends what it is. If it's like a reverse hollow, like good luck. It's gonna be so scuffed and scratched. I'm kind of telling myself like if it wasn't released like this year, I don't think I want to buy it off Troll and Toad just because it's just not getting in good condition.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get asked probably my number one question in like YouTube comments or even like Instagram messages are just like, where do you buy your cards? And I think it's like a beginner trap of thinking that matters. Where they think like, oh, everyone who's good at this, like they know something I don't. They're like,
people think there's this oasis, of cheap.
No oasis.
Yeah.
We have like the same availability. Maybe someone set up with the distributor, but that's not card singles. It's like we're all the same cards. I always say like what and when you buy matters, and if you think there's like an oasis, everything is like within like 15% of eBay prices, like no matter where you look, because if someone's selling something for half of what it goes on eBay, like why wouldn't they just sell that on eBay?
Exactly.
So, yeah, I also have learned I will pay more for a card if I can think I can get it in better condition, because the premium you'll get from grading is just so much better. So because of that, like if I want to grade a card, I'm not buying from Troll and Toad. Troll and Toad's not selling you gradable cards. I'm gonna tell you that right now. People purposely sell or send Troll and Toad their like ungradable cards, and then Troll and Toad sorts the crap out of them, does whatever, and then they ship it to you in a box in a plastic bag with no sleeves, and like they're not good condition cards.
No. Yeah, I've had a few good purchases.
9, 10.
What was that?
Like when I say like not good condition, like near mint, like PSA 6. You don't expect PSA 10 from Troll and Toad.
Yeah,
that's like a lottery win.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've had a few good purchases from Troll and Toad, but for the most part, like you were saying, I used to buy a lot of Shadowless through them, and
I remember watching one of your older videos where you're saying like I think any Shadowless rare like under $10 or something you bought, and you made like Shadowless lots.
Yep.
Yeah, I specifically remember thinking about that. I'm like, I think you did pretty well in those.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That was a good buy.
Yeah, I used to love buying shadowless cards. Now they've gotten a little too expensive for me.
Yeah,
And you've got so many.
yeah,
Can never have enough.
yeah. Charlotte's cards are good. I think they're like a really good like kind of in between for almost not almost first edition. Like they have the feel like a very like unique feel because they're shadowless. And first edition is the only other type of card that has that, but without having that like massive premium first edition stamp slapped on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, I think they look a lot better too. I like the aesthetics better.
Yeah, like I don't care for like unlimited Venusaur, but for some reason, Shadowless Venusaur is such a nice card. I love it.
I wish that was a thing that carried through WOTC, where the only distinction between unlimited and first edition wasn't just a stamp, because one, then it makes it so like the forgery isn't so easy. Like, you can try to throw the stamp on any jungle card because it's identical otherwise. Like if Shadowless or some other major thing was different on the cards, it would have just made that less of a thing.
They were not thinking about that back then.
No.
Yeah, and now there's like no differences between print runs.
I
like,
really
no
wish
purposeful differences. Like
I wish weighing was never a thing. It would be really cool if like all the product was just untaintable in that way.
That's what I kind of like about. I think Evolutions was the first unweighable set. I might be wrong. Don't quote me. But I really
think it was somewhere around there.
Yeah,
Breakpoint or Breakthrough, I think.
Yeah, they started making the sets unweighable, and that's nice. It's kind of nice owning packs where you're always being like, what if? You know, I kind of you're always tempted to open it.
That's a great thing about the Pop 5 with the non-hollow Umbreon and Espeon being the chase. And then actually Neo Destiny, you couldn't weigh out the Shinings because they had such little foil on them.
Yeah.
I bought an opened, like one of my first buys, I want to say 2015. I bought a lot of I think it was two sealed Neo Destiny Unlimited. I went in pretty heavy. Neo Destiny Unlimited booster boxes, and then one that was like just 36 loose packs. Well, I weighed it out, and there were 12. I think you got 12 hollows plus 2 shinings, or 1 or 2 shinings.
Yeah.
I opened the 36th pack to get the second shining.
Nice.
I opened them like heavy to light. So it was the lightest pack in the box had one of the shinings.
Man. I never knew you could pull shinings from light packs until Rusty recently pulled a Celebi from a New Destiny pack, and that was the first time I'd heard of it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, pack weighing isn't like a science, or anyways. There's always some variations. It's like it's like generally pretty consistent, but I'll see people posting on forums where like, oh, what's the weight of heavy for this pack? And it's like,
yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's by the box for sure.
That's what I would say. If you want it to be completely accurate, by the box. If you have one single booster pack, get ready because you might be disappointed.
And even then, James broke a box a few months back where there were only like 9 or 10 distinctly heavy, and then there was just a huge swath of like 8 packs that were iffy. I ran into that a lot because I cracked a lot of boxes a few years ago.
Yeah, the variations like so much with WOTC.
And then Gary King Pokemon, he did when they did their charity unlimited base box break back in November or whatever. He opened it was like a 20.9 or maybe even 20.8. It was well under the 21 gram first edition base set pack that turned out to be heavy.
Yeah, I've seen boxes where the lights are like low 21s, and I mean that's what people do. They get a gram scale that has no even tenths place,
Mhm.
They just sell these packs that are like 20.6 to 20.9. Oh, it weighs 21, so they just sell it with the 2-digit resolution as a potential heavy pack.
Just like a
Speaking of that, I just saw someone on Facebook doing that, trying to sell a first edition base pack, and he said it weighs 20 or like 21 grams or something like that, but there was no decimal place.
I'm just gonna throw it on my bathroom scale. It's an error pack that weighs 0 pounds. It weighs
even
nothing.
If there, it's 0 pounds. Even if there was a decimal place, like I would not buy heavy anything from someone who wasn't very trusted. Because you could what's it called, like tearing? You can just put something on the scale and like tear it or whatever. Like you can reset the weight and then put something on it, and you could make anything weigh whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
So a picture doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
No, definitely gonna buy those things from a trusted source there.
We went on a lot of tangents there.
Yeah, I forget what what your original question was there, but
we went where were we? We were like amazing rares. We're talking about like Scott's underrated, and then you bought out all the Kyogres.
Didn't this all start from Sebastian's kind of advice answering that question? I don't
that's right. That's what
we didn't get Nick still.
Yeah, like never answered the question.
No, you definitely answered, but then I think we just went into this whole thing, and I still need to get Nick's.
Well, one of mine would be something that you're fortunate enough not to have to deal with is health insurance. Finally got that set up, but that was such a pain. So for anyone else who's single, isn't fortunate enough to have a wife,
or live in Canada like I do.
Yeah, exactly.
Or live anywhere in the US.
About that.
Yeah, or live anywhere else.
First world problems, but only the US.
Yeah, definitely spend some time looking into that, looking into how much it's going to cost you and what company to go with, what plan to go with, because there's so many different options out there. But yeah, so that would be one of them for me. And then the second one, I would say I agree with Sebastian's too. Definitely customer service, and then kind of knowing how to sell stuff. I think you said that. You said that at one point during our tangent there.
Sometimes.
But I would say something that I started doing recently that's actually been very helpful for me is promoting your business more. So business cards, that's obviously a real big one. I've also started including stickers with my logo on the business card, or on the sticker itself, and those are actually pretty popular. There's a lot of people that'll share that on Instagram. Take a picture of what they bought plus the sticker on Instagram, and I actually get a lot of messages saying thank you for the free sticker, blah blah blah. So that the cost on those is I usually pay like 30 cents a piece for them, and I'll include them on any orders over like $30. So the cost doesn't matter too much, but I think people like them, and I think it'll help build like a decent following on Instagram and YouTube maybe and stuff like that. So that's something I would look into.
I started doing the business card a couple months ago, and I do occasionally. You get that Instagram story,
yep,
which might get you a couple followers or something, and then I occasionally get like somebody subscribed to my YouTube, and they go and they drop a comment, hey, just found out that you had a YouTube, it's cool, or they messaged me on eBay, oh, I got to see this card in your return video. Hopefully I wasn't like bad mouthing the card as being like a junk grab, but you got to watch out for that, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I can't believe these are selling for $200. I'm gonna list it because that's what the market is, and then someone buys it.
Yeah, no one's gonna want to buy it. Yeah. So when you give out your business cards, Nick, you just like include them with all your sales?
I do anything that goes in the bubble mailer, I'll include a business card. Anything that goes PWE, I don't include anything.
Yeah, I have a business card. I bought like 2,000. I'm like, that's gonna last me a long time, and I'm already like, oh my god, I need to buy more. Like,
Oh yeah, you
I'm so
fly
broke.
through
I
them.
put one in every single sale, business card. I'm gonna make new ones and update it and hopefully make it a bit better.
Hmm.
But yeah, I like your sticker idea. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. Once you get a cool logo, definitely look into
Yeah.
that.
I have the Suicune one. My best friend made some art for me as like a birthday gift, and then of course love that Pokemon, favorite Pokemon. So that's what he did it, and then I was just like, I love this so much, and I made like everything.
Nice, awesome. Yeah, that's definitely important. Like your whole brand recognition type thing. Use the same
Yeah.
like profile picture for everything.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That definitely helps.
And everyone's not everywhere. So if you just
Hmm.
having your YouTube linked to your Instagram, linked to your eBay, they just
Yeah.
all help boost each other. And then, I mean, hopefully you never have any major problems with one of the platforms, but crazy things can happen and people can get suspended on eBay or
Yeah.
it's annoying when people message, hey, do you have an Instagram? And it's like, yeah, it's the same stinking name. Like, that's why why don't you go search on Instagram so you don't get my
Yeah.
account banned?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people ask me questions where I'm like, if I just straight up give you the answer, like, they'll like suspend my account or something. Like you can't just link out of eBay links in messages. You can't say, oh yeah, I'll sell you this off eBay. Message me on it. You can't say that.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I'll just reply like, find my social media,
Yeah.
and it's like, and they will, because it's the same name. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry, but if you message anyone on eBay and ask how you can do a deal off the eBay, they can't work with you.
Yeah.
You gotta find their Instagram or something.
You know what was actually really strange for me? I sold something, shipped it out to them. The buyer said it said delivered, but the buyer said they never received it. So it's kind of like those weird circumstances. So it was a cheaper item. So I just refunded them. And then a couple days later, they actually ended up receiving it, and they were wondering how they could send me the money back. So I said I could relist it, but then I'd have to do something with the tracking number because I want to maintain top rated seller status. So I said, let me call eBay and find out. So I called eBay, and the rep that I spoke with actually said, just give me your PayPal email or your Venmo or something, because once the sale's completed on eBay, they don't care about it anymore. So it's that like in between that you want to sell something off eBay. That's what they're really concerned about. But once the sale's completed on eBay, and if you're in a situation like I was, you can just give them your PayPal email, and that's what I did. And I haven't gotten any ban notifications from eBay just yet.
Yeah.
One thing I've heard of too, and I haven't had it happen to me yet, but like just today, actually, I had someone message me, hey, can I buy this through PayPal and save a little money? Well, luckily they found me on Instagram a few minutes later. I wish they just did that first and didn't send the initial message. But when a message is sent through the contact form on an item, and then 3 hours later, I delisted that item, I feel like there's a decent chance I'm going to get dinged for the final value fee on that. I've heard of that happening, but it still hasn't happened to me. That was a fairly, I mean, it was a PSA 10 staff Charizard from Vivid Voltage, so it was like $2,700. I kind of gave, like, I kind of split the savings with the buyer. I knocked off 5%. I got 5% more. Well, I might have given them a 5% discount, and then I'm going to still owe eBay the final value fees. Hopefully not. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had that happen to me. I have heard about it though. I forget where I heard about it, but I have definitely heard about that before.
I've had E4 people say they've had it happen to them.
That's probably where we heard from. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys got anything else you want to talk about?
I can't remember when we started. I don't know where we're at, but I feel like we're pushing a new record.
I was gonna tell you. Well, I forgot to set my timer. I was gonna tell you that afterwards. So my timestamps aren't gonna happen in this podcast. It'll be episode 12.
We definitely hit all the questions, and I feel like we're getting definitely towards the limits of where we like to be. So
Yeah,
I think
I would imagine
we're at
so.
a good point. If anyone has any closing thoughts they want to add in.
No, I would just say it's been fun
Okay.
talking to you guys, and good
Yeah.
good both of you good luck with your full-time ventures.
Yeah.
Me and Sebastian are seasoned veterans, but
Tight into the
Dan, we
industry.
wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, and definitely everyone here. I mean, you're watching it on either my channel or Nick's channel. Be sure to check out Sacari. Hit up all his socials, likes, follows, subscribes, all that good stuff.
Yes, definitely.
He's got some good content over there, so be sure to check it out.
Yeah, thank you. It was great being here. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, the time just like flew by. I'm not sure how long we've been recording for, but that felt quick.
It'll probably end up being longer than we thought, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
YouTube monetization.
Exactly. Well, it's always a pleasure talking to you, Dan, and it was nice to meet you, Sebastian. Hopefully
Yeah,
you guys have a good rest of your week there.
definitely.
Yeah, as always, feel free to leave any questions that you want answered in the next podcast, and we'll catch you all later.
Have a good one.